Ladies, if you can go to a table that has your favorite Thanksgiving thing on it. We have cocktails, turkey, Hallmark movies, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, football, you name it, we've got it. Pick a topic. Okay. Thank you, Lindsay.
No one likes football but us? Does no one like football but us?
I mean, I thought it was a little weird.
That's disappointing. Are you guys the only ones
Okay, ladies, I'm going to call to order the November General Membership Meeting of the Junior League of Reading. We will start with the approval of the October General Membership Meeting minutes. The minutes were circulated via email. Are there any corrections to the minutes from last month? No? Okay, the minutes are approved as circulated. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. I know it's insanity. It's the week before Thanksgiving, so we are going to get you in and out with very little pain tonight. Just a couple things. On the table out front, I have an updated calendar. I updated it. We're about halfway through the year. Not that I'm counting that I only have 6 months to go, but we are halfway through the year, so I updated the calendar. It's for November through May. I got rid of everything else we've done. And I also added a bunch of dates. So we have Global Youth Service Day, the CAN Structure event through Voice Up. The film event is now on there, so please make sure you pick up an updated calendar. We also have out there the flyer for December 10th. Please make sure that you get your $15 to Lindsay Romeo by December 3rd. We're going to have a fun holiday party here with active sustainers, food, wine, drink, no agenda, no speakers, just making Christmas cards, drinking wine, and having fun. Monday, December 10th, 6:30, 9:30, $15 a person. And the last thing that's on the tables out front is the Junior League document and photo storage policy. This is a policy that was just approved last week at our board meeting. It's to help you understand where do I put my stuff. So all the committees have probably, and I've heard every committee has their own Google Drive. We can't keep stuff on Google Drives. It's fine for you to use it amongst your committees, but eventually you got to get it somewhere so everyone in Junior League has access to it. So this tells you where to put your stuff. Photos, documents, you're either going to put them on the website, you're going to put them in Dropbox, or you're going to put them on a flash drive, which is at headquarters, depending on how old the stuff is. So please start working on getting that stuff transitioned over. Read over this document. If you have questions, reach out to your VP or to me directly. Okay? All right. Without further ado, I would like to bring up our first speakers of the night, which are Daphne Clark, from the Executive Director at Reading Recreation Commission, and Heather Boyer, who is their Program Director, and they're going to talk to us about their Girls Leadership Program and give us some tips to help us when we talk to girls in all the programming that we do. So please join me in welcoming them.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having us here tonight. I'm Daphne, and this is Heather.
Good evening.
And we do have a girls leadership program that we have been running for 6 years in the city of Reading. And a few months ago, I guess it has been, Brittany and I, we met and we talked about similarities between our programs. Many of our girls participate in the Junior League's Youth Summit every year, which we're very happy for. But we'll just give you a little background of who we are, what we do, why we matter in the city. We are the public designated service agency for Parks and Recreation in the city of Reading. We started in 2012, we took over City of Reading Recreation Department directly. And we're not just about playgrounds and slides and sports leagues anymore. We have become social service agency standing in the gap for many services that are no longer provided by the familial environment or the school districts. And specifically, I can give you an example, cooking program. We have an urban cooking program because the Reading School District eliminated home economics in the junior highs. So we have kids now that don't know how to cook or use healthy ingredients to cook meals. So girls leadership came about of the same way. We had a need and we filled it. I met a girl, and I apologize if you've heard this story from me before, but this is the truth. A few years ago in 2013, there was a 10-year-old girl that stood in my office and she said, "My life sucks." And she had no affectation. It was just putting it out there, plain and simple. And I said, "Why is that?" And she's like, "All I do is I go to school, I come to the rec center, and that's it. That's my world. Home, school, rec center. My big dream in life at 10 is to go to the beach." That was her dream in life. And I'm looking at this girl and I'm thinking to myself, how in the world is this girl going to make it? How is she going to stand up against girls from other school districts when she gets into junior high or high school? How is she going to compare? Is someone going to look at her and say, "You must go to Reading because of the way she looks, she acts, she speaks," whatever, lack of social grace perhaps? It's many different factors, and I'm not saying that necessarily happens, but in this particular case, this is the type of kid that we're dealing with on average. We don't meet their parents. We become surrogate parents. Heather has about 400 kids at the rec, right?
And
that
if
are
I
like,
could take them all home with me, I would.
yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah.
We're all like that, but we definitely have a need. And we have great kids. So you will see in the nonprofit issue that's coming out in the Reading Eagle, I designed an ad, and there's a picture of one of my girls leadership girls that has her qualities. And I said, and that's only half the story. And that's the truth. We have kids that are just amazing, but they don't get to realize their potential, or they don't even know there's options and choices out there. So I teach one of the girls leadership programs myself. I'm really passionate about it. I love it. I could not imagine giving it up. Heather teaches one at Northwest. I'm at Northeast. We have 5 programs total. We meet throughout the school year every week, and we develop a relationship with these girls. I don't look like any girl in my program. No girl looks like me. I grew up in Lancaster County. I grew up in farm country. I went to a rural school district. I went to a very good college. I don't have a lot of similarities with these girls the way they're growing up. I always had lunch money. I never didn't go on a field trip because my parents didn't have the money to send me. I had clothes that fit. As I'm sure many of you, I'm going to assume, we're in similar situations. Or you provide for your kids. A lot of our kids don't have that same situation. Last Christmas, I delivered gifts to 2 of my girls in my girls leadership program because I found out right before they weren't getting anything for Christmas. And it broke my heart because they wanted, books.
Books.
Something so, books. $22 on Amazon. So it's just simple things in life, But Brittany and I met, and the conversation we had was pretty interesting. She was telling me about an experience, and I'm sorry, I'll probably fudge the details a little bit, but I think some of the members here have lunch with the girls at the middle schools, correct? Yes. So she was telling me a story about how one of the girls had said she hoped, to become pregnant by the time she was 18. Right? I can already hear a gasp in the room. Oh, that's terrible, right? And that was Brittany's reaction. And, Brittany was like, "That's terrible. You'll ruin your life, blah, blah, blah." All the things my mother probably would have told me. But I remember having this conversation distinctly with her, and we were sitting there, and I said, "But do you realize this girl may have a teenage mom? She may have a mother who gave birth to her at 15, who had a mother who gave birth to her at 16, maybe. She has young parents and grandparents. So this is the world she knows." So we, in our girls leadership program, are not looking to, tell girls that how they're living is wrong. That's not my job. And it's not my job to be their mom. My job is to give them choices and show them that there's options. So what I said to Brittany was, we don't talk about sex really in our girls leadership program.
It comes up.
It does come up, but we avoid it like the plague. But we talk about positive choices and that there's a time and place for everything. and that it's great to want to be a mom. It's great to want to have a family, but maybe if you waited and you develop some financial stability and you graduate from school and you do post-secondary education and you get a loving relationship and there are steps to make your life more successful. So these are just one of the many lessons that we teach. We have 32 leadership lessons in all throughout the year that we touch on, leadership characteristics, and we put those into action. I welcome any of you, not all at once, but if you want to, come join me at a girls leadership program on a Thursday afternoon at 3:30. I welcome you to do that. We have absolutely phenomenal kids, and they're going places. We have girls that are now going, aspire to go to college because they see themselves going to college. They've been told it's not an option. It's an option. There are 12 scholarships to every school in Berks County for kids from Reading High. Full rides that are not used, by the way. They're not used. Yeah, it's crazy, right? So these are just some of the statistics. Other statistics are, does anybody here know what percentage of the population of Reading lives in poverty? Almost 40%. 57% of children in the city of Reading live in poverty. And poverty for an adult is earning $12,000 a year or less, single income. So just to put it into perspective, that is the population we're dealing with. We have a food service program that right now is serving between 500 and 600 meals a day, and we deliver. And we will go up to 900 to 1,000 in January. So we're delivering, you'll see our vans driving around the city. We are providing school supplies. We are providing clothing. We're providing Christmas presents. We asked the Reading Hospital to adopt our kids for Christmas, and they agreed to. These are the things that we're doing. So it's just more than Parks and Recreation. So I don't want to talk the whole time. I'll pass it over to Heather. Heather's been in the city working for 3 years, 35 years, who knows?
Kind of
It's
lost
like
count.
forever. Go ahead.
About 27 now. So just to kind of spin off what Daphne is sharing, many of you I'm sure are familiar with recreation in general, and it's kind of very different in different areas. And kind of what happened with girls leadership is we found that girls are coming to the rec center to sit on the bleachers and watch the boys. So what do you know about how girls and boys play? Boys will go to a park anywhere and there's a pickup game of basketball, and whether they know them or not, they're gonna jump right in and just start playing. Girls, it's not happening. It's not happening. So, our poster child, Geneva, that was just the tip of it, because Daphne has emotional moments in my office after Bethany Children's Home meetings, and she's just like, what can we do? What can we do differently? She's like, you gotta call, we gotta take these kids to the beach. Okay, we're all for a beach trip, but it's just, there's just so much that comes through our doors. And it's not just all girls, but we just kind of felt that there really is no really true definition of where these girls fit into the rec centers, and that's kind of how girls leadership was born. And now the girls have more to show up to rather than sitting on the bleachers watching boys and chasing after them and giggling and all sorts of things. So I do the program at Northwest Middle School. That's kind of where we started, other than the rec center, but I'm there three years now. That's my junior high. That's where I went to school. So for me to go back and be there and see these girls, and we meet with them weekly. We build relationships with them. They open up to us. And, I have a daughter. She's in 11th grade, and I bring her on trips, and they're like, oh, that's your daughter. Like, I treat these girls like they're mine. They can tell me anything. They come up with the crazy, most awkward scenarios, and I'm just like, oh, what, where, how, but building that trust and building that relationship and understanding the cultural differences that I have and they had. Yeah, I was a student in Reading for a brief point of my life, but I'm not there anymore. But giving the fact that they share things with me and I can understand a little bit better about their family dynamic and what they bring to the table and what I bring to the table, we find a nice common ground to build relationships and have great conversations. And We expose these girls to college visits, you know, as young as 6th grade. We're getting them on a college campus, and they're like, that's a dorm, that's where they live, and wow, you know, this college thing isn't such a bad idea. Now I know, you know, it's not an expectation of me to just have a baby. I can get an education. So girls are great. We have our diamonds in the rough, and we have our gems that shine. Our high school group, 2 of the girls is number 2 at Reading High, and number 6.
They're in a competition
In their class.
For
So
valedictorian.
there's just these amazing girls, and they're in their 6th year, and they keep coming back, and we're like, what can we do differently?
We need to send them to the junior league.
You know, yes. So, you know,
years.
we never envisioned 6 years out. And when I say that, we were constantly tweaking curriculums and adding new crazy things that keep these girls coming back.
Keep them
Girls are
engaged.
texting me, Miss, I moved to Y Missing now. Can I still come to Girls Leadership? So it's like I said, we didn't expect it to be where it is, and we're kind of like, what are we going to do to this lesson differently so that these 11th grade girls can still get something out of it? You know, with funding, we thought, we've got to tell them, you know, sorry, we have nothing more to offer you. No, we want to meet every week. So it's a great thing, but it's just like, wow, what do we do differently? So please, if anybody ever would like to, we love guest speakers. We're going to start focusing on careers right after the new year. I'm going to try to get a speaker in to represent each one of my girls as to what fields they want to enter in school. And I've got 6th and 7th graders. So if anybody, you know, we brought some business cards with us that we can leave here. If you have any interest of ever coming in and being a speaker and chatting with our girls and sharing some knowledge, we welcome it. We welcome it anytime. Great fun. They're fun. I had my meeting today, and they wrote cards to people to tell them that they're thankful for them, and I only gave each girl 3, and I need more. Had I known that, I would have given you each 10. They're grateful, they're passionate, they're wonderful. So if anybody ever wants to come visit us, we've got a Wednesday night meeting, a Wednesday afternoon, a Thursday afternoon, and 2 Thursday afternoons. So find us. We'd love to have you.
Do you guys have any, and that's awesome, they're doing amazing stuff, and we go in every week, you know, every month, I shouldn't say every week, every month for our life skills luncheons, which are now called Let's Do Lunch. Do you have any tips in particular that you can offer us when we go into those lunches, other than not telling a girl that if you want to be pregnant at 18, that's awful, like I did, which was my a gut
It's
reaction.
not awful, it happens.
But yeah, any other tips or ideas for when we're going in and talking with the girls that you know that we should be sensitive to, or that you're finding that are really like.
I think kids are just very welcoming of, who's the new person in the room? Sometimes they just want someone to listen. They just want to be heard and ask them questions and make it feel personal, that you have an interest in getting to know them, and just leave some type of impression that if you see them the following month, they're going to come back and keep opening up, because the relationships that they have at home aren't probably what they should be. And knowing that you can make that connection with them, I think that's the biggest piece of advice. And if they, you know, say something that you might not understand, ask them about it. I think they're just so welcoming of inviting people into their lives that to just be that ear is worth a lot.
And also, I would add, be authentic. Okay, so how many of you in this room, I can give you a perfect example, how many in this room listen to Cardi B?
Oh boy.
Oh my God, okay. I'm already blushing. Okay, so I asked my girls, we're talking, they're practicing public speaking, so they're introducing each other and talking about their traits and things they like and things like this. Cardi B is the #1 artist for all the girls in my group. Every single one, okay? I have no idea who Cardi B is. I listen to Coffee House on Sirius.
The best part about this
That's it.
story, she has no clue.
I have no clue. And I'm like, who's Cardi B? And they're like, oh, she's a rapper, Miss Daphne. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm thinking like rap, 47-year-old rap, right? Like in my mind, I'm going back to like, no, right. So I was off sick, and I thought, I'm going to listen to Cardi B. I'm going to Google it and see what this is. and I listened to a song called Bodak Yellow. And let me just tell you, I am wearing foundation to cover the red that my face was for like 2 weeks because I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever listened to. And so I went into my girls last week and I said, so hey, I listened to Bodak Yellow. And they were like, what? Like they couldn't believe it. And I was like, it's horrible, you know? And they're like, it's great, she's so authentic. And I was like, oh my God. So sometimes it's just laughing at the differences, you know? But for me, it's really just, I ask my girls every week, what has been the best part of your week? What's going on? And they talk. They want someone to hear them. And when we ask them what they like most about girls' leadership, is that they can be themselves and that they can be heard, that they have a voice. And they definitely have a voice. And you're giving them a voice at your summit. I mean, these are the types of things they need a chance to be expressive. So,
I think, Erin, did you have a question?
Well, I just wanted to explain quickly because I was there when you were doing the Post-it notes and kind of the differences. Do you remember?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
if you can explain that very quickly because it kind of shows a little bit of it. It was a little bit crazy when we did it.
That actually came up in my
It's my
meeting
fa- it was,
today.
like, my favorite
Yeah,
exercise of
that
the
came
whole
up in my
program.
meeting
That's an
today.
awesome exercise.
They were like,
Yeah.
are we doing that again? Like,
Yeah.
let us know now because that was very difficult.
Yeah.
And that was the teachers that said that. No, you go right ahead.
Yeah.
okay, so we have a Post-it note exercise quickly. We take different colored Post-it notes, and they can be, you know, they just need 5 different colors. And we ask everyone to write down the 4 most important people in your life on one of the colors, and you write them down, you know, so it's like mom, dad, sister, brother, right? And then the 4 most important memories in your life, your 4 most important possessions, your 4
Goals.
future goals, right? And you write all these things down. There's a 5th category, which I'm not thinking of at the moment. But then, so they're writing them all down, they all have them lined up in front of them, they're all happy, and then I'm like, now you're gonna eliminate 5. They're like, what? So they're like, oh, okay, well I don't need the gym bag, and I don't need this, and I don't need that, right? And they just keep going. But they end up with 3, which means you have to eliminate a person as well, even if you kept 3 people. And it's about prioritizing the things that are important to you in your life. Of course, this is different for someone your age versus a 6th grader.
Right, and it was interesting.
It was-
because what happened with our, I don't know if you remember what I
Yep,
No, you can go ahead,
I remember it well.
Because most of us did people and memories, and what did the girls, a lot of.
So one of my girls, who I had her for 2 years, and I'm so happy to see that she's at the Citadel program. Her top 3 things, and we always ask the girls to share, and some of them don't want to, and we don't push it. But she pulled me to the side. She said, Miss Heather, I want to tell you what my top 3 are. And I said, okay, talk to me. She said, well, I couldn't live without my grandfather, who plays a huge role in her life. And she said her number 2 thing was she wanted to wait until she was married to have sex. And when I say sex comes up, I was like, whew. You know, I was like, wow, I'm glad till I'm married came out of that. And then her 3rd thing was she wanted to go visit her father in jail. She was in 7th grade.
And then I did a program, which is probably what you're if you remember, I didn't have one person in the group that picked a person as their final 3.
My girls
Not
all had people.
One. So they were pink pieces of paper, and I remember looking around the room and there was no pink left. They discarded all the people in their life. That is sad. And they mostly kept future goals. So they have home lives, they're looking ahead, you know, going into the military, you know, doing things. So it is different, and we're dealing with it. It's a great exercise.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
We should have brought it tonight.
I know.
Yeah, we could have done tonight, yeah.
Yeah, next time.
It's a lot of
There you
Post-it
go.
Does
notes.
anyone else have any other questions
Yes.
for the ladies? Letty.
Where's your funding come from?
Well, so it had been, so originally we were funded with an initial grant from St. Joe's to write our curriculum. And then for 3 years we received funding from Power of the Purse, which helped underwrite the program. We lost that funding this year, but in its place, we got corporate sponsorship from Hewlett Packard Enterprise, Performance Toyota, some private individuals who had heard that we didn't have our funding and basically stepped up and gave us our funding. So we have funding for another year.
Just well deserved.
That's awesome.
Pardon?
Thank you.
Well deserved.
Thank you.
Well deserved. Anyone else? Questions for the ladies? Yes,
How many
Katie.
girls do you serve? And what's the age range? Sorry.
Most of our girls, so we have 5 programs. I do a program at Bethany Children's Home as well. So those age ranges are different. But in the Reading School District, there's 6th and 7th graders at the middle schools. And then at 3rd and Spruce, they are up to 12th grade.
6 to 12.
6 to 12. We have right now, we go up to 30 girls in a club. We just started. My deadline for girls to join is next week. Right now I have 18 girls in my group, but I'll probably end up with about 25.
Yeah.
And we're lucky, and at the end of the year, because of transiency, we usually end up around 22, 23, somewhere in there. We meet once a week. I meet every Thursday, 3:30 to 5. We have our own classroom at the school, so they can decorate it and like the whole thing, so yeah. But again, you're welcome. I'll leave a couple cards up here. You're welcome to take my card if you want to call me. You're welcome to join me at a girls leadership program and get to meet the girls and kind of see what we do. Welcome.
You ever need advice? Not that we have the answers to everything.
Yeah, we don't have the
God
answers to
knows
everything.
we don't, but you know.
They have a lot
we're
of
here.
great answers. They've been very helpful.
Yeah.
Very helpful. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Yes, you too.
I'll leave my cards here. I have a class tonight, so I have to go. Oh, thank you. You didn't have to. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just sorry to run. Thank you. We run out of. You can find either of us through either of us. Yes.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
Through the office walls.
Yes. Daphne and I did meet with Heather and Daphne. No, we're good.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank
ladies.
you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Our Daphne met with that Daphne. So Daphne and I met with Daphne and Heather just to talk about ways that we could work together, because our programs, they're seeing a lot of the same girls that we're seeing. So that we're seeing at our Let's Do Lunch, that we're seeing at our summit. So we've been brainstorming with them on ways that we can partner and things that we can do. A lot of it would be us hopefully participating in some of their things. But we have talked about, is there some way that in the future that we can make it a continuum of programming? So they're really great at doing, meeting every single week, which I don't think we could handle that. But is there something we can do that would be like a carrot? So to entice the girls to participate in their leadership program, and then we're like the carrot at the end. Like if you do their program, then you get to do this with Junior League. So we have been having those conversations, but that's future strategic planning for Junior League. So Amanda and Jeannie, yeah. All right, great. So next we have Julia DeVos is with us today. Julia is a recruiter for Concern. So she's going to talk a little bit today about Concern. As you know, our Angel Tree gifts that the new members coordinated are going to Concern. And we also did our first Service Saturday program on Saturday, and we made little blankies, no-sew blankets that we delivered 40, I think, or so. Kate is here, thank you. About 40 blankets that we gave to Concern on Saturday for the foster kids as well. So, Julia.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
just absolutely thrilling to be here. Up until a year ago, I was a teacher. I was an instructor at RAC. And wow, my kids, my 18, 19, 20-year-old young ladies in my writing classes they probably knew the two that just scooted out the door. Oh boy, some success stories, but lots and lots of pressure to not value education and to not use their voice and not listen to the little voice inside. There's so much pressure. And I wanted to just say that I remember they were saying that, remember with the activity with the pink stickets or Post-its, that very often the kids didn't have an adult figure in their lives that they valued. That is not the way it's supposed to be. And I just want to tell you that Concern, we have many programs at Concern, but one of them is foster care, and that's the one that I'm most involved with. But what our foster families can be is that person in a child's life who provides a model of, we were just talking about this. You don't have to reach a decision in your home by fighting about it, getting physical about it, screaming and crying about it. You can actually talk. You can compromise. You can listen to each other. There are other ways to be, and like the other women were saying, we don't necessarily say this is the way you have to be, but to provide choices. There are choices to the way you live your life, the way you interact with each other, the way you spend your time, the way you prioritize. That's where our foster parents live. If you want to be that kind of person in a young person's life, please contact me. I have a whole fistful of business cards here. We have many programs that concern not only for kids that need a permanent home, but for kids that need a home for a while. But also, we do coaching to talk to, just visit some of these young women who have babies, young children who are at risk of losing them to the county, to foster care. We do some visit coaching and some kind of parenting classes, and we even have a mother-baby program where a young woman, typically with her baby, goes and lives in a home where the foster mom can sort of like model how to be nurturing. Believe it or not, some of this stuff just doesn't happen. They just don't learn. It maybe wasn't done for them. So do let me know if any of you are interested in foster care. I have to say, just like the kids are learning how to prioritize their time and their energy with those activities that are done with you guys and also with the women that left the room, you are prioritizing your time in ways that just blow me away. It wasn't until I started working at Concern that I realized that that people like you exist, that you take the effort, the energy you don't have at the end of the day, to take that angel ticket that you got. I don't even know what it looks like, but you go out and you buy a gift for their child in foster care. That's really stunning. And if there's ever a doubt in your mind as to how these gifts are received, please know that a lot of our foster families don't have money to buy the kids the kind of Christmas that they would like to provide for the kids, and certainly the kids would like. They see it on TV, of course, and they hear about it from kids at school. But they don't have it themselves. And the women, again, were saying that they know of a couple girls, at least last year, who were getting nothing. That is not unusual at all. Parents, unfortunately, prioritize their money use in ways that beg the question about how much the kids are valued, how much the kids are really adored, and that they matter. And your gifts, I can't begin to tell you how much those little blankies are so sweet. They're so soft, and they say handmade with love. That is such a unique experience for our kids to matter, to get something new, not a hand-me-down, something that fits, like they were saying. It's appreciated beyond words, the gifts that you guys go out of your way to purchase for our kids every year. And thank you so much. And let me know at any time if you would like to know what other programs we have at Concern, and if you'd like to just talk about foster care. I do a soft sell. I'm not a sales person. I'm an English teacher. So anyway, thank you for letting me
Does
come.
anyone have any questions for Julia? And if someone from New Member here can tell us how many gifts we're giving them this year?
75.
Nice.
That's a lot.
Yay, great job.
Yeah, thank you so much. Very generous gifts too.
Nice.
I know that there are bicycles and
Can we hand these out too, Julia?
Well,
Also?
yeah, I wanted to show you these, but as I was listening tonight, I'm thinking it may be a little off track. I brought these activity books because we have a lot of different outreaches we do, and one of them is these activity books, and they have activities for kids as young as maybe kindergarten through middle school, and they're free. And if you do Vacation Bible School, or if you do anything with kids and you'd like a stack of coloring and puzzles and stuff like that, I can get you more than you ever imagined for free. And I love it because it keeps our name around. And we're celebrating our 40th anniversary this year, so it says 40th at the top. So thank you. Thank you for having me, and I thank you so much for your generosity to Concern.
Thank you, Julia.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you
Appreciate
for
it.
having me.
Thank you.
I'm
It's for
just
you.
gonna stay if that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yes, absolutely. We'd love to have you stay. Thank you. Okay, so next is Katie Williams with our Young Women's Summit activity. So this is an activity that we do at Summit in the spring with the girls called Flash Judgments. Katie.
So, sorry, my voice is a little hoarse today, so let me know if you can't hear me back there. But, so, how many people here have been to Summit before in the past? How many people here have done the Flash Judgment activity and remember what it is? Okay, so not too many people. So what this is an activity to help the girls learn about judging each other by labels that society or that, you know, are part of their identities that are outside of their control. And what this activity is for and why we're doing this is every month we're doing a Young Women's Summit activity to get everyone comfortable with the activities that we're leading with the girls. So I'm asking you to play along and participate as if we were playing with the middle school girls because, you know, we could just, I don't know, not get too into this or whatever, but we could also have fun with it. So have some fun with it and talk to each other. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna have 5 minutes and you're not supposed to actually look at those, so don't flip them over if you already did here. You're not supposed to look at the labels, but what you have to do is you have to take one and put it on, you can put it on your forehead, and you walk around and you have to treat each other like the label. And these are some really like harsh labels. So you're supposed to do it without talking, but don't tell each other what they are. And that's it. Treat each other like your labels. So you have 5 minutes.
Okay,
So everyone grab one, stand up, and walk around.
So we're not supposed to know.
No, you're not.
Is it right side up?
Go ahead. You already looked. So you Yeah.
How about if we all just sit down and they'll get the point? Yeah, I help old people. Yeah.
You're a hard worker.
You are a hard worker. Did you see what our other ones were? No. Yeah.
All right. Someone else. How are your babies?
What?
How are your babies?
All right. How are yours?
I like can't get Lucy to eat anything, like nothing. Like now she won't even eat her favorite foods of pizza and mac and cheese. She's just like won't eat. This child.
Is she teething?
Maybe. I don't know. Is she?
Maybe.
She never eats. She's never eaten.
Well, I know, but if she's not eating her favorite things, or she might have a sore throat.
She's just different.
Want me to yell?
We're good. Everyone's sitting. Yeah, you can yell. You can yell.
All right, ladies.
Are we good on time?
You're good. Okay. Yeah, you still have 5 more minutes. Good. You have 5 more minutes.
So,
All right, ladies, we're gonna wrap it up. We
so
can talk about the activity.
who wants to volunteer to share how they felt or how they felt when people were treating them a certain way or how you felt treating someone by their label? Does anyone want to volunteer to share? Caroline?
I had a feeling I had this one, and I was indeed shunned. But, yeah, it's never fun.
So what were you, Caroline?
A child molester. So yeah,
How did people treat you?
they were rightfully very suspicious. They didn't really want to touch me in any way or get involved.
And how did that make you feel?
It made me feel ashamed. Shunned.
Hey, how did, yeah.
Well, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say fun for everybody because I cheated a little bit, because my first one, I was being shunned, so I asked what I was, and I was a male who pushed around his girlfriend. What he wanted to have sex and she didn't, and I wasn't comfortable in that role, so I
No shit.
I didn't say that. I didn't. I was a male. I randomly picked another one, and I spoke 4 languages, and people liked me a lot. Nice. But my point is, I think you can change your ways.
Yeah.
Want to.
Does anyone else want to share? Well, I know Jess has said that at Summit, some girls cried even with this, and they're hugging each other, and it can be emotional for them to, have to communicate with each other with no words and try to express their feelings, and they take it personally how they're being treated based on the label. So thanks for being such good sports, and hope you guys all volunteer for this.
Thank you, Katie. And thank you, everybody, for being good sports and participating. Like Katie said, the girls really do, it's a really good lesson that they learn at Summit when we do that activity about how you treat people, not judging a book by its cover, and all those things that go along with that. So thank you. Next is Lindsay Christ with our film announcement. Yay!
So, while Lindsay gets us the trailer sent,
Great.
it's under New Day Films if you go to newday.com, newfilms.com.
Pretty cool. Oh, great.
Well, the trailer I'm going to show is from the film. It's it's Wonder Woman, the untold stories of real life superwomen. So it's going to be on January 20th. We're going to be at the Miller Center. Doors for us to go in and set up are going to open at 2 o'clock. We're going to open to the public at 2:30, and then the show will actually go on at 3 p.m. We are working on lining up our panel right now, but essentially the film kind of goes through a timeline of Wonder Woman from when she started in the comics in 1930 and how she was depicted. Then she comes back in the 40s, 70s, and now today, how Superwoman has evolved and how we see her and how we see other super women who are depicted in our lives, in other movies. It talks about in the 80s, in Terminator, Sarah Connors, how she's depicted and how she's a superhero, and it kind of just evolves into what superheroes look like in our lives, what kind of superpowers do we see in ourselves, and which ones we would want to have. And the big question all goes back to not just superpowers, but what can we do to help, because that's the big underlying lesson from Superwoman, is she's a humanitarian, she's helping, and she isn't just dependent on somebody else, she depends on herself. So I will send out, or have Brittany send out the trailer so that you can look at it.
2 seconds.
Yep, she's almost got it. Just so everybody knows, last year we did partner with Girls on the Run. This year we're not partnering. They had a lot going on this year and they couldn't partner with us. One of the reasons we also are doing it at the Miller Center is to try to keep the film downtown, because we do try to encourage a lot of our Summit girls to attend and their families, and transportation is an issue. So the DoubleTree, unfortunately the expenses there, they couldn't give us the discount that they gave us last year, so it was just too expensive to have it at the DoubleTree. That was our first choice. So again, we're going with the Miller Center. I think it's gonna be great there. And I did include in my email this week, if anybody loves event planning, I know Social Events just got done a huge event, but if anybody loves event planning and you have any time, anything you could do from home, the advocacy committee only has 3 people now. We just lost someone. So they could just use some help contacting the schools, because we do try to get the film flyer into the hands of all the schools before they go home for Christmas break, so that all the kids are aware in all the different school districts. So if you have a contact at a school district, or you can make calls to the schools from home during the day, or email the schools from home during the day, that would be a super help to Lindsay and her committee, just to get that accomplished so we can get the flyers delivered in December before they go home for break. So here's the trailer. Yay.
Maybe.
Is there a panel this year?
Yes, we're working on lining those people up.
Yeah, Wonder Woman.
I'm hoping to have like a service woman, like a
Spider-Man. Superman.
Batman, like all the classics. You know what I'm saying? Batman's dope. Can't stand that.
Superman. Clark Kent.
What are the consequences for women when they are strong and when they are the central actors of their own lives? Wonder Woman was the only female superhero, so she was irresistible. She was literally the only game in town. She believed that you didn't need a man to take care of you, because she had her crush on Steve Trevor, but she didn't need him. He actually needed her.
Gone. Now I carry him back to my plane.
The early Wonder Woman were some of the most feminist stories in comics. When Wonder Woman emerged, women had to step out of the private sphere into the public sphere because we were at war. Women did things they had never done before. They made planes, and they flew the planes, and they became superheroines. But as soon as the war ended, all the guys wanted their jobs back, and the women were sent back to the kitchen, and suddenly there was a mass amnesia, and no one remembered that women had ever been strong. With Wonder Woman, you begin to see her adventures turn more to romance. She spent many, many, many years not being a feminist character at all.
rock music and handmade zines are taking the images that we grew up with and dissecting how they've influenced us as women.
It's about making your own media.
So there's a little wheel right here. This thing. Yeah, you push the wheel in.
So that's basically it. It does have a pretty heavy feminism tone in the trailer. It's not as much in the film, but it does give you a lot of like feel good. I just watched it actually this evening before, because I just got the movie before I came over to the meeting, and it was great. It really talks about, you know, women can, you know, these young girls can actually have goals and do all that. You know, they can be whomever they want to be, and it's not just having a child by the time they're 18. So it kind of opens some doors. And Wonder Woman, the cartoon, and the film, the movies, all that is just opening doors for young women. So.
Awesome. Anyone have any questions for Lindsay? Any questions
So
in
just
general?
mark your calendars, January 20th. The snow date will be February 17th, but we're not going to have to do that.
You're gonna have to do that.
It's gonna be January 20th. We will need volunteers to help out with us. Greeters, that kind of thing, microphone holders, all that. So if you can help, that'd be great. Thanks.
Just for the new members and people that aren't familiar, the film is not historically a fundraiser for us, not in the same way that the Fall Fest is, but it's more of a community education event that we do. So every year we have a different topic. You can go on our website, you can see all the different topics we've had over the years. So it's more of a community education, trying to make an impact on the community, giving just another way of empowering the youth and the women in our community. So we really try to get people to rally behind bringing your kids, bringing the girls from Summit, and really making an educational piece. Letty.
So it's good for all ages?
I would probably, we were going through our list of contacts, and I would stay within like the preteen, like the preschool, definitely middle school and high school. I think 5th grade would probably be
The youngest.
maybe, you could probably get away with a little bit younger, just because it does have like that, ooh, cool, yeah, the cartoons and it's fast paced but like the topic is a little bit older.
Did they send a marketing packet by chance with, because last year's film, I know they gave us a marketing packet with a
No, there's some
recommended
stuff
age.
online.
Oh, okay, so maybe we can just put the recommended age on the flyer. Okay.
Is there a cost for the, like, younger kids? If I'm the young woman telling you.
Like we've done in the past, I think it was like $5
$5 or $6 it was last year.
for adults and like real cheap for kids.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We don't have all that out, we don't have all that figured out yet. Yep, we're working on it. Okay, community development. I don't know who's talking. I saw Jess left.
And then
Carolyn?
can tell us a little bit about how well the very first service Saturday went, which is very exciting. Or do you want to start with that, or you want to do it later? Or I'll start with. My first thing I want to say is that we really, really, really need volunteers for Girls on the Run this Sunday. So if you guys are looking for something fun to do, we're going to do face painting. We have really cool flash tattoos we're going to be handing out. They're basically metallic, like fake jewelry you can put on. So it'll be really fun. It's a pretty short commitment. The real rush is going to be from like 8 to 9:30. So that was really, you know, if you happen to have that time free, please come. Please sign up on Sign Up. We've got a lot of space for you, and it would be much appreciated. Otherwise, Let's Do Lunch was a success. I'll share just a couple things. So actually, I went to Northeast with Lisa Meredith Unrath, and she actually heard some feedback. She has a lot of contacts who still work at the school. And the first thing I want to say is that it was really productive. Like, a lot of the girls were really receptive to the new program, which is talking about conflict resolution. So, I mean, and actually what we did is we talked through some real life things that were happening in their lives, and a lot of the girls were talking about, oh, this one teacher, you know, it doesn't feel like she's listening to me, she yells at me, And so we kind of talked through that. Well, how would you bring this up to the teacher, and how do you plan to approach this? And they didn't really have a good strategy around it. And what Lisa suggested was, there might just be another teacher who has some ideas on what you should do. And I guess because she happened to know a teacher at the school, she did suggest one. And the girls actually went. They went and talked to the teacher, and now they're sort of in the process of figuring this out. So already some progress. Yeah.
So we do need 4 people for next week. So it's the last week. It's the last week of this month. We need 2 for Northeast on the 28th and 2 for Muhlenberg, and it's half an hour.
Yeah.
That doesn't include the commute. And I think, so the format is just a little different. So Daphne and Heather, who were talking, it's really just about positive choices. And so actually, so Rachel and I were at Southwest, and we just started talking about, hey, how do you resolve problems? Because it's going to be your whole life. And I think the first scenario, like we started with a scenario, and right away it was violent, right? It went right there, went right there, right away. So we had to talk through that, right? And it was, but I saw one of the girls actually on Saturday, and she's like, when are you coming back? And I asked her, and she said, I asked her, did you get anything out of it? And she said, she goes, how to use my words. And so she was a little tough. She was a little tough. She did, so I think, that, as they mentioned, they just want somebody to hear them, that they have a voice, but then just different choices, the alternatives to always, being, either verbally or even physically, right? We went to the physical, right? And the verbal violence. So, of course, you have to back that up and give them some options. And we'll email you all that information, but it's the skills you have today that we use every single day. They look at it so differently. And I think my 11-year-old comes home every day with all these big problems, and it's just the same thing. How do you handle it, right? You avoid, talk it through, all these sorts of things. So anyway,
Yes,
so
thank
we need
you.
4 people.
Yeah, but it's cool. You leave with a good feeling of, wow, I feel like I actually made a really good connection there. I think I left an imprint there, because it's something that every 6th grader, every 7th grader doesn't have the toolbox to really solve these problems. And so just by virtue of being older, we do. At least I think everybody's older.
And just
But-
for everyone who might be afraid to sign up, it's really super easy. And you guys give us the topics,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You give us
And-
the instructions on how to get in the school. The school helps you get to where you need to go. They round up the girls for you. You really don't have to do anything
We
except
tell you where to
show
park.
up and
Yeah.
talk about the topic that's emailed to you. It's super easy.
Yeah.
And if anybody wants to come to Muhlenberg, I don't know if they'll make you feel more comfortable if it's your first time. I will be there. And I will be with you.
It's on the
So
29th.
please don't
On the
hesitate.
29th.
Yes.
Come hang out with me for 30 minutes.
It is, it's really
Northeast,
fun, and
then
the girls love
Northeast
it.
It's on the 28th.
Okay. So yeah,
Sign
we
up,
do
please.
need spots.
We need you.
And then Kate, do you want to talk about Service Saturday?
Certainly, of course, absolutely. So we had a very successful first Service Saturday this past week, where we did a project for Concern. First, the girls were educated about the foster and adoption services that Concern provides. And then we all embarked on a project where we made 42 little no-so loveys. They were adorable. The girls really enjoyed the project. It was a lot to take on in that amount of time, but the girls really rose to the occasion. And what I really enjoyed the most is that I think all of us really got to work individually with 1 or 2 of the girls, and we got to chat with them the entire time. And it was I mean, by the end, when it came to taking the picture, the girls were like, no, you're gonna be near me. No, you're gonna be near me. So it was a really neat 2.5, 3 hours where you just bonded with those girls, many of which will be back for our January service learning Saturday, our Service Saturday. So it was a really good experience. It was the first one. Of course, we have some things we have to tweak. Liz and I know what they are. Our next one, we will focus on Family Promise, which Family Promise is an organization that helps teen and family, homeless teens and family. Our goal there, we will have, my son did a service learning project with
Family Promise, so I'm somewhat familiar with that organization, and I kind of, I know sort of the angle where they'll go with that, and the girls, it's a really fascinating little presentation that they'll hear. And then we will, our goal is to create winter warm comfort bags for, many of these children just go basically from church basement to church basement to church basement. They're bused to their school, wherever their last address was, they would be bused. So they might be staying at a church in, say, Wyomissing, but meanwhile they go to Governor Mifflin, or they go to Wilson, or they go somewhere. So they are bused to that school. So they're sort of moving around to different places where they don't really call home. So we would like to just have a little bag that they can take with them that has all the things that we take for granted and our children take for granted, lotion and toothpaste and, you know, just something soft like fuzzy socks, tissues, flavored chapstick, you know, all the kids love that sort of stuff. So in advance of that, if there is anyone who works in, or, you know, knows someone who works in a field that maybe we can get a few things without cost, that's just more things in our little budget that we can put little extra niceties in the bag for them. So if, talking like dentists, I know we have a wonderful dermatologist who's not here today, who sometimes is very generous with things, just little things that we could put in, that the girls could stuff the bags with, things that we could have donated. If anyone, you can email me, you can email Liz. Otherwise, I think Special Events has adopted January 12th, so they will be the committee who represents. We will have that all ready for you. We do need some, I think the February date, which is February 9th, we're leaning towards making sock cupcakes for the elderly. We have to work out a few details there, but I think we were tossing that out to the smaller committees that may only have a few members. We can get a few of those committees together. We had about 7 volunteers, and that was pretty good. We had 13 girls. We're hoping that it takes off. We would love to see at least 20 girls. It's open to every girl at Olivet, so you're talking 6, 7-year-olds up to, you know, the older girls. We have the American. I'm sorry, was that?
There was a junior there?
Yeah, yeah.
There were triplets that were 17.
Yeah. The AmeriCorps girls, they are absolutely wonderful. I had like fascinating conversations with them.
Yeah.
And, they're just amazing girls, what they do. But anyway, about 7 volunteers seems to really work. You know, give or take the project. This project was bigger. We could have used a few more hands, I think. But I mean, we 42 of those little no-sew blankets. That was.
You should be proud.
We are proud.
Amazing.
We are proud, and they were adorable. I mean, they, with the girls, I mean, the littlest ones just loved to do, they were our stampers and they were cute. But, anyway, so it was very successful. We really hope that you are able to join us. Thank you to Special Events for adopting us for the next one, but we have one in February and then one in April as well, with the possibility of another one. We'll see how that goes.
Oh, wow.
Well, the date is there as a snow date.
Got it.
But if they all were really successful and people really wanted to do them and the girls were really into it, we thought maybe we would do that for the girls, because they, one comment that we did have, there was a little bit of a little miscommunication with the time, because the gentleman that we work with, he unfortunately was in a car accident, and so it was passed off to his assistant, and so some things were not translated properly. The girls arrived early. And so when we got there, they had already been there for a little bit, and of course we felt terrible, and we offered to buy them pizza and all that sort of thing. We brought snacks and all that stuff. And the Olivets, they said, no, we'll buy the pizza. And actually what the assistant confided to me was that many of the girls had said, we'd rather be here than home anyway. So they were with us for more hours than they should have been, but they were, you would have thought they just came in. They were so excited to do the project, and they were fun. It was a ton of fun. They, you know, and we taught them a skill too that they can use. These are inexpensive gifts now that they can make. You know, we told them any fabrics that you have, we showed them. We had them doing all the cutting. We had them doing like all of it. It wasn't, we handed them something and said, okay, do this. We had them every step of the process. So it was good. It was good.
Very
It was
exciting.
definitely learning.
service learning.
Yeah, this is the kickoff of
Yeah.
what we hope will be a long,
Sorry if I talked too
successful.
long.
No.
it's
This is a
amazing.
big
It was an
deal.
amazing day.
And this really ties into the continuity of Young Women's Summit and like our partnership with Girls on the Run. It's just like we need to really kind of have this be something where it's not just a 1 year, 2 weekends thing. It's we're seeing them periodically at lunches. We're seeing them sometimes on Saturdays. We're seeing them here and there. But I saw you had a question, Amanda.
That is correct. It's the 12th. Yep. And actually, when we were leaving, we had to like say to the girls, "No more, no more." They all wanted to take fabric home and make them for people they love. So, considering Joanne, they were very generous.
We had
in
lots
their-
of fabric.
We have so much fabric. Yeah, Young Women's Summit, we got you covered for like the next decade. We're good. We are good. We are good. But the girls all wanted to take pieces home to make for people they cared for too. So it was really sweet. It was neat. So we definitely reached them as well, which was the awesome part. So that's all I have to say.
And I want to add one more thing before I leave the podium, but we're coming up to that time where we're coming up with service learning projects for Young Women's Summit. We're finalizing a lot of ideas, but I want to kind of open this up to you guys, where if you happen to be sort of Pinterest inclined, or are on a community and you're with some people who have another idea, now would be the time to let Katie Williams know about it, because we definitely are open to suggestions. I think we could have a lot of fun with this. We've got some ideas. We can recycle some stuff we're doing, but sky's the limit. Just has to be within 2 hours, and that's it.
Budget.
Oh, and budget, yeah.
Anything about Thanksgiving?
Oh, that's
Thanksgiving's
good.
next week.
Casey and Stacy, we're gonna field that for you.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna
Jess
pass
asked me
that
to.
on. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Karen. Who's doing it? Are they doing it now?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, that's okay. Don't worry about the details. Have a quick little conference.
Alright, so for as far as our new members, they are doing a fabulous job getting everything organized. So we're just going to quickly tell you what their plans are for Olivet's, and well, Meg, V, and staff have kind of taken it over in coordinating everything with the new members. The new members are doing a fabulous job getting activities for the older group as well as the younger groups. We have new members committed to coming as well. We're going to do a candy corn toss of some sort, color by numbers, a thankful tree with everybody's hands, and these little like turkey crowns of what they're thankful for. They're gonna look adorable. They're gonna see something that will last beyond Olivet's. So it's gonna be awesome. And this year too, I think we split it up last year too, but we're splitting them into age groups and having them circulate in between their activities there to hopefully kind of like disperse them that way and keep them a little bit calm within their areas. Which should be fun.
And if anybody can come a little early, we don't have a ton of new members who can get there. So anybody can come and kind of fill in, help out, it kind of gets crazy. It's 4:30 to 5:45, yeah.
And can we bring children if they have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like even our committee, like we have parent-teacher conferences, so we can't be there. So like even our committee members aren't really going to be showing up in numbers to help support the new members. So if anybody wants to come and help support, that'd be awesome. 4:30 is when we start. 4:30 to 5:45.
Okay, gotcha.
Great.
Questions?
Yeah.
Who's in charge of the food? I saw a lot of food needed there. I guess,
Community
I don't know.
development.
Who on community development is doing the Thanksgiving?
I
dinner?
believe it's Daphne or Paula.
Daphne's doing it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I feel like, cause it's.
What else do we need?
It's Tuesday, and there's a lot of.
Oh, I just thought I tried. Sign up, people.
Start cooking. Do we have food runners? Like, are people getting food from headquarters and bringing it to?
That's on the
I
sign
think
up for all of it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's all on the sign up. Yep.
Great.
So go on the sign up and sign up. Yep.
Awesome.
Thanks, ladies.
Good job, new members.
Yay! Good job, new members. Thank you. All right, Lindsay.
No video.
No video. All right, yep. You guys want to come up?
really quickly about Olivet's, I saw there's lots of turkeys that need to be bought at Target. They have a turkey in a bag for $30. It can stay it's a 12-pound turkey. It can stay frozen the entire time. It goes right from freezer into your oven for a couple of hours.
They're amazing.
It's great.
They're amazing.
It's super easy. If you have a double oven, you could do 2 even. That's all. Okay. So Fall Fest, we've got some numbers for you. So you can start that way. This is our gross. It's our gross. We're still getting all the receipts back. So this is a gross. Woohoo!
And actually, thanks to 2 members of our committee, we're $200 more than that as of tonight. So that's a 5.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a quick PowerPoint just to go through everything. So first off, thank you to everybody who came to Fall Fest and everybody who volunteered, everybody who donated to the wine wall, because without everybody here, we would not have been successful. So, next one.
Oh, no, that was in case we didn't stand up here.
That was nice though. Okay, go ahead.
That's our committee. All right. So sponsors, we did great. Our whole committee, we opened up to the entire committee. We did a great job this year. We got $15,000 in sponsors, over 9 different donors, which was huge. Last year was under 8,000, so that was huge.
Ticket sales this year, we were at 10,050. So we had 134 paid tickets, and then with sponsors, depending on the level, we give away a different amount to each sponsor group. So 25 out of the 48, I believe, sponsor tickets were used. So we had 159 people at the event.
We had 4 different beer and distillery tastings. 4 were, and you can kind of like just flip through these, it's all kind of the same topic. We had 4 different vendors that came and attended, and they had great positive reviews about the event, which was great. And then we had 1 station where we manned it. Not we, you guys manned it, and did tastings.
We had amazing food again this year. So Adelphia had a sushi station. Willoughby's had both an appetizer table and then a bunch of different things in the spread for dinner. And then Sweet Street provided all of our desserts. The decor, we just have some pictures here, but we did, again, the theme for like the 95th anniversary, so going back into the 1920s. So really cool theme, kind of going back to Prohibition.
And on the tables, you probably noticed if you're there, it had these little like tent cards that had information out of our books about things that we used to do kind of like through the years, and there were pictures that were through the years just to give like a little bit of a like history for people that maybe didn't know. Silent auction killed it. Last year was great. This year beat last year. Made $12,000, which is the most ever. There's 54 items. It was great. They did a great job.
And then live auction this year, so in total we made $10,300, split up the emotional appeal. So in the past we had done like sponsor a girl. This year we showed a video about all of the different activities we do with the girls, mostly Young Women's Summit. So from that we got a little over 5,000. The ROG braces, $37.50, and then Hamilton tickets went for $1,500.
Wine Wall sold out again within the first 2 years, so thank you to everyone that donated. And the ice cubes actually sold out as well, really quickly. So we're thinking about increasing maybe the ice cubes by a couple. Just don't get there early, but a couple. Exactly.
So for those of you who weren't there, who haven't been there in the past, new members specifically, so for the ice cubes, we have these little light up, they're not actual ice cubes, they're plastic, but when you drop them in your drink, it lights up and grabs people's attention. We sell those for $100 each. We only sell 25, so it's kind of like early bird gets the worm. And whoever the winner is that we draw when the silent auction is about to end, that person gets to pick any silent auction item, and it was only for $100. So this year it was a dinner at the Berkshire Country Club that the winner chose. So it's like a 5-course dinner.
It was
with,
a dinner for 8.
Yeah, and 5
and
courses and paired with wine. So for $100. So it's a really good deal.
Did you choose the tree?
No,
No, I mean-
surprisingly.
So thank you to all the sponsors. These are all our sponsors for the years, for all of you guys that volunteered, for all of you who attended the event, donated to the event, and helped out. Thank you.
Yeah, and so we're still figuring out all the expenses, but I think with the $200 that our committee gave tonight, I think we should clear $40,000 in net. So
We're excited, yeah. And you guys we're sending out, hoping to grow and evolve. We're gonna send out surveys to the attendees. We're also gonna be sending out the survey to all members, if you went or if you didn't go, to get some feedback on what you thought or why you didn't go. Will you go next year?
So look out for that and please respond because your feedback helps make it a success. So thank you. everyone.
Questions? Awesome.
Good job,
Thank
ladies.
you.
Awesome, thank you so much, and thank you to the entire Special Events Committee. Amazing, amazing job. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so holler for $1. We have $58 in our kitty, and just a reminder, so this is going to be used. God, that picture is awful. This is going to be used. I had a little bit too much wine at our Olympic party this summer when she took that picture. Perfectly. She did. So we are going to use the money in this kitty to put towards the cost of probably our spring social. Since our fall social is our Christmas card decorating here, and that's only $15 a person. I think that's pretty affordable for most people. In the spring, we're looking at possibly doing a trip to a winery, which could be a little bit more pricey. So we'd like to help offset that cost for anyone who might not be able to afford that. So again, holler for $1. There are Post-its on your tables. Just write a quick note and raise your hand if you want to shout out and give some money and a Post-it to somebody that you are super proud of, happy for something they did. You just want to give a shout out to another member, say happy birthday to somebody. I'm going to start. We had 2 people who went to fall leadership in September, Rachel Eskin and Daphne McCullum. Thank you so much for going. We appreciate any member who takes time out of their personal lives to go to AJLI trainings. They are amazing. I think they had a great time. They brought back a lot of great information for our future leaders. And then in October, we had Kate Geiling and Deb Gingrich who went to ODI. And they came to our board meeting last week and presented their information. They got a lot of great things that they learned, and we appreciate you guys taking your time. So what am I up to, $4? And then how many members are on the special events? Is it 10?
13.
Whoa, oh my gosh, it's gonna cost me a lot of bucks. So I have $13 for the entire special events committee because they kicked ass, and remember, I have a block. They kicked ass and Fall Fest was amazing. I thought it was the best Fall Fest ever. I had a great time. My husband had a great time, and he doesn't usually go to those things, especially when Alabama is playing football. I mean, it was like pulling teeth to get him there. So he thought it was amazing, and I hope you'll all continue to support it. Please respond to the survey. We need your feedback. We didn't have as many ticket sales this year, and we need to know why. And we need to know why some of you weren't there. So we want to hear your feedback, and we're gonna take that feedback very seriously and continue to make it the best event ever. It is our main fundraising event. It's what pays for everything we're able to do. So please continue to support it. So here's my cash. Anyone else have cash for Holler for the $1? Yeah. Here,
I know, it's tiny.
the hole's like so small.
I'll let you field and I'll run.
There. Okay, there we go. Melissa.
I've got cash for the Fall Fest committee. You guys killed it. Congratulations. Thank you.
Letty, have $1 for the red hats at the Fall Fest.
Oh. Behind you, Stacy.
So we've got a couple. This is also on behalf of Meg Rutherford. She wasn't able to make it tonight. But I've got one in particular for our new members and Maria. So Madeline, Mary, and Becky in particular for helping to arrange for all
They were it was outstanding. Outstanding. Yes. Lindsay.
One for the special events committee because you guys make us look good. We couldn't do it without you, from Melissa and I. And also to Kate, who is killing it on PR, made our life easy. We sent her an email and she would respond immediately, get it fixed, and hook us up. So,
Woohoo!
So last week, Angel Tree Gifts. Julia, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to give these gifts to the kids. It was so helpful to hear the stories and all the impact it's going to make. So we're really appreciative of you being here today. So thank you for that. For you guys, if you haven't given your gifts yet today, if not by the end of the week, we want to get the gifts to the kids ASAP. So get them into headquarters by Friday.
And we'll be hanging out here in the hallway afterwards if you haven't given a gift and you want to drop it off with us, or let us know when you might be dropping it off, just so we have an idea of when we should staff it in so we can get everything wrapped up.
Or you will probably be getting an email. Or some text messages.
Are all the Angel Tree, are they all taken?
Yes.
Yes, all are taken. We're just waiting for them to come in. So it's been 75 of them, so.
So deadline's Friday. Get it in. Yay! Yes. Thank you. All right, so building 24 after we leave here. Hope to see you there. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, everyone. Oh, Melissa Smith.
I just think it's the all the time. And there's a lot of kids not signed up.
Okay, can everyone hear Melissa real quick?
I just checked out the Olives just because I was curious, and there's a lot of food that's not signed up for. We have 4 turkeys, and there's 10 on that they need. There's nobody bringing corn yet. Only one person's bringing mashed potatoes. So really look at it, and because that would be really disappointing for that families and very sad.
Yeah.
Because it's so look at it, please, and sign up.
Yep. We need people to sign up because they count on this. If this is their Thanksgiving, most of these families don't have any food or limited resources for food and have no means of having a Thanksgiving meal. So this is their Thanksgiving meal with their families and their kids and us.
Is anybody, eating turkey that would have extra room if I bought one and dropped it off? I have 2 ovens, so I can do it.
Nice.
I'm already cooking the turkeys. Okay.
And Jennifer Darino in the past, she has double ovens. I don't know if any. I'm gonna volunteer her, and you can tell her I did it. But she might be willing if anyone wants to just butter her up a little bit, maybe throw her some, I don't know, something. But she might, yeah, wine. She might cook some turkeys for you.
But also a little emotional appeal, if you heard what I said, when the assistant director of Olives did say when I was apologizing about that little time snafu, he said, don't worry about it, these girls would rather be here than home. So they really do, this event for them is huge, it's a huge success every year. So, I mean, many of us have been there so many times, but for those who haven't, you won't be disappointed. I mean, to make a thing of corn is no big deal, you can, microwave it, rotate it out, whatever, leave it in headquarters, we warm it up at Olives, it's not a big deal, you can go to BJ's and buy a giant can, dump it in something we can heat up, it's really simple, and the kiddos really,
They count on this.
they love
Yep.
this event.
So please sign up.
Love this event.
They do. Yep.
And it's a great event.
Yep.
It's a great event.
Thank you, Kate.
I'll cook a turkey, but you have to give me the Archer Farms one.
The Target
I will
one.
donate my oven. I'm making brownies, but I will donate my oven, but you have to bring me the bagged turkey. I'm not grinding.
Go to Target, get the Archer Farms one. It's
I
amazing.
purposely
It
do
goes right
not.
from the freezer to the oven. It's super yummy.
If you bring it to me, I will volunteer my oven and I will bring
Yep.
it.
No thawing. You don't have
Drop it
to
at
thaw
my
it.
house, that's all. Let me know.
Anyone else? Yes.
Anybody, I have a turkey to be, I do not want turkeys, but this is like a free giant turkey. Anybody wants it, and is willing to cook it, I can go.
Thank you, Steph. Thank you. All right, ladies, meeting's adjourned. We'll see you at Building 24. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.